everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright, so, I'm going to do a little something on the stream. And that's, we're going to pretend to ignore Devil's Advocate. Now, for anybody not familiar, I mean, I know a lot of people probably have heard the phrase Devil's Advocate. But if you Google it, you'd get, the statement of basically it's a person to provoke, debate, or test somebody's, theory, right? To basically play the opposite position to raise the question. What's moral versus immoral? And how do we come to this conclusion? What's the difference between right and wrong? Is it as clear cut? It's playing devil's advocate. It's just like saying, hey, you know what? Who dictates these type of things? Who's to justify anything specifically? So if we ignore that, if we're going to ignore it, if we're going to ignore an opinion, right? If we ignore opinion and we ignore position, another person's position, what's that say about us as a society, right? If it's so clear cut, right? Can we afford to ignore devil's advocate? Can we afford to do it? Can we afford to say this is, the right, this is right, regardless? We don't always know those answers. Some things are a little bit more defined, right? We know that to be true. We know, like saying committing a crime, what's deemed illegal is against the law. Thus, it's considered a crime. But not all countries have the same laws or punishments associated with each criminal behavior, right? No, so basically, you can't kill somebody in cold blood, but if you kill somebody in a different type of scenario, then it's different, right? You have to play devil's advocate. You have to. At all times, you have to understand every situation differs. Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up, and the big reason I'm addressing this as such. So I made a video last night. Now, mind you, I did not know, and I stated in the beginning of the video, I did not know this individual, right? Didn't know him. I had never seen a video of his, ever. Never looked up his videos, never commented on his content, nothing. So it's brought to my attention, wow, he's, a kid. Well, define kid. Is he 19? Is he 18? Is he 17? Is he 14? I don't even know his age. Like, I have no idea who, in what context, your definition of kid is. Everybody to me is a kid. I'm 43 years old. Right? So, be more, define, And let's get back to the question at hand. Let's address the scenario in its entirety. So, once again, now, I'm not being, targeting anyone in specifics or trying to harass or trying to bother somebody or whatever. I don't do what's been done to me. Now, let's get this straight. I have had multiple content creators, multiple content creators on my back, right? Oh, I can name them off. Let's start off with the Asian God. Let's start off with Outcast, who hasn't posted a video but talked openly in his Discord about me and posted, comments about me specifically. Let's talk about Atako. Let's talk about, a bunch of people trolling me continuously. Did I cry? No. Did I give a shit? Really, I don't. I think it's hilarious, actually. So, once again, my integrity is built different, right? Because maybe how I grew up. It's just like these dudes are nothing to me. And for one thing, even if I knew them in real life, they'd still be insignificant. Right? Because they're not a part of my life. Now, that's just my life. Now, could they be important to other people? Absolutely. But once again, it's, we're playing devil's advocate, aren't we? Who are they important to? Who aren't they important to? Right? So, are we going to ignore it? Are we going to ignore it? Just saying. It's like, listen. So, it's good for the goose, but it's not good for the gander. Is that what you're telling me now? So basically, when you become a content creator, and I'm going to give a fair warning, I didn't want to become a content creator. I didn't. It's not what I really initially thought my life would become. I didn't anticipate it at all, to be honest with you. We're going to queue up, by the way. I did not anticipate literally becoming a content creator. Just was not something I was like, yeah, I want to be a content creator. It's going to be so cool. Because I didn't know really what was the purpose of me having to do it up until a certain point. And then I noticed how quick people are to assume what one says is completely accurate without them trying to do the work themselves or literally test the bounds of their capability within, the software, right? Which is ludicrous to me. It actually makes no fucking sense. But hey, I guess people want the easy way out. They want to take, the path, the road least traveled. They don't want to, put in work. So they say, okay, well, this guy's put in the work. He knows what he's talking about. I'm just going to assume that he's 100% correct. We're all human. Right? First and foremost, we all make mistakes. We all can make mistakes. So just take that. If you're going to walk away with one piece of advice, take that piece of advice to heart. That nobody is without flaws. Tupac Shakur in a lyric said, even a genius asks questions. Even a genius ask questions, because if they don't have questions to ask, they'll never come to the conclusions to make them what? A genius. They test the bounds of their capability. All right? They test it. They're always pushing, striving for something better. And with that being said, I reflect back on, once again, I took up the content creating because I wanted better for my community. I wanted my community to embrace the capability within the game. What was offered and what was being overlooked. Whether it was intentional or by mistake, it was still present. But it was just not being utilized. It wasn't being, explored. And that's what I came into. It's what led me to do it. Telling people there are mathematical fundamentals that you cannot afford to ignore because it's relative. It's apparent in this type of industry, right? It's just the laws that apply. You can't ignore those type of things. Those are fundamentals that are, built into the coding itself. Ground up. And all of a sudden, I'm ridiculed. I'm made fun of. I'm completely railroaded left and right. And at no time in the beginning did Zoss initially take a stand to say, you know what? Mystic Raven has a point. Nope, they just unofficially announced it. Then everybody jumped on that bandwagon. Oh, there's no BIS. Oh, there's no, standard progression system. Oh, any class can play any role. Oh, wait a minute. There's diminishing returns. Oh, wait. It's like, And you guys were hounding me because I told you you were wrong. Okay. Now, does that make me right? I don't think so. I don't like to think so. I mean, I say it, but it's not that's not the important message. Yo, what's up, Irish? How you doing? Hope you're doing well, brother. That's not the message that I want to set. That, you know, I'm a know-it-all. It's not what I'm trying to get across to people. I'm trying to get you to challenge yourself. Right? I want you to challenge me. I don't take it personal because there's nothing personal to be taken. Right? There's nothing personal to be taken. These people don't know me. These people have never, I've never, you know, interacted with these people in a real life scenario. So how are they going to literally judge me from anything? How are they supposed to do that? And it's in turn, it's in kind returned. I don't know these people. Whether or not I make a video about an individual, it's the content in which I'm addressing. It's the content in the within the context that I'm addressing. Right? It's nothing. There's no. You can't turn this and make it say, "Oh, it's because it's, you know, a sex thing, a race thing, an age thing." There's nothing in that for me. Nothing. There's nothing in that for me. And if I address something, it has nothing to do with anything other than the content in the context that in which it portrays. Now, anybody has a chance to rebuttal, and most of the time people have. There's still videos out there on me bashing me left and right. Have I thrown a temper tantrum and like, oh my God, no. This is the way the media works in being a content creator. There's good and bad, and that's in everyday life, right? But here's the problem. Once again, if you ignore devil's advocate and everything's good, how can you appreciate it? Because you never had to go through anything bad, right? It's when you go through bad scenarios that you appreciate what you have, right? You have to have that. I'll say this, you know your stuff. You walked into this game and tanked, healed like a straight G. Your macros are a thing of beauty. The love you have for gaming and helping the community shows. Thank you, man. You're going to make me cry. Thank you. Which I'm not a very sentimental type of person, but typically, but no, thank you, brother. Thank you. That's all I ever wanted. That's it. That's it. I just wanted players to play the way they want to play. And I wanted to just offer them the capability to say, hey, man, put yourself out there. Just put it out there. Try it. You never know until you do it. Have fun. Have fun. You know, people call me toxic. Like, you're so toxic. And I'm like, okay. So I raise a question. I propose the argument. I don't go to people. First thing, I never stream stalk anybody. I have never stream stalked anybody. I've never been on a stream and said a negative thing to anybody on their stream, ever. I've never been a toxic person as with the disrespectful intention. If I've been disrespectful, which I'm not saying I haven't been disrespectful, it's only because of, once again, the misleading context in which the content was delivered. Because it gets on my nerves that people buy into this. People believe this to be 100% true. And if it's subjective, how can you say that it's absolute? Because there is no absolution in subjective material. It's an oxymoron within itself. It's a conundrum that's ready to just, sink in. There's no ground, there's no support structure to that. There's none. There is none. And I give it up to my fellow content creators. I've been forgiving. I was taught, hey, you got to be forgiving. And at the times, you know, you hate the idea that you have to like turn the other cheek, right? That, you know, it's the best scenario. True story. I won't get into everything. So, I am Irish German descent. So I'm a little more than temperamental, right? I have English in me. My surname is actually of English, Old English, and my other family derives from Ireland, and my mother's father was full-blooded German. Now, my great grandfather came from Germany right directly after World War One, and I wasn't alive when my grandfather had passed, my great grandfather, but my grandfather was born in the United States, and though I believe my uncle and my aunt were born in Germany. So, and my grandfather would tell me about the stories he heard about why my family left, why they left Germany, and it made you sad, right? That it came down to that, like, and luckily they did. And now my grandfather said, you know, I had to fight against my countrymen, even though I was a United States citizen. I'm a German, right? Fighting against Germans because what they're doing is wrong, right? It's morally wrong, and you have to understand that. There's a deep connection there about where you originate and to what extent. Holy fuck! Okay, it's been a while since I did this one. Oh, but you know, it's crazy to me. I don't know none of these mechanics, I don't think. I don't even know if I've done this one. I think I have. I'm running slow because of that ice. Come on. Was a little bit maybe too easy for a trial. But, you know, the thing about it is like, you know, I grew up, and the first thing that you're always told, like, you know, oh, what, you're German, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what's that got to do with anything? Like, what's me being German got to, like, German Irish got to do with anything? You know, I don't get that. Like, so, wait a minute. Because I'm German and I'm Irish, like, what? You're going to assume that I'm a racist? I come from Ohio. Like, you know, I grew up around interracial, you know, minglings, you know, environment since I can remember. So what is this? But people assume, right? When you say it. And that's the thing. We assume as people. We categorize. We, have a premeditative, and it's not just one group of people. It's not. It's people, right? It's not, racism, sexism, any type of discriminative perception is not isolated, right? It cannot be just associated with one specific group. It can't be, right? Because anybody can discriminate. Anybody, right? We all can be guilty of, assuming that we understand because of something. But when we do that, regardless of the context in which we do it, it's with discriminative intent. Even if it's not directed towards race or sex or gender or any of that. We can be discriminative. We can be biased. Right? And that's unfortunate because we have to start learning as a society that people have potential. Everybody has potential. But you can't throw potential out, and you can't, take in consideration of anybody's potential if you choose to ignore a devil's advocate. You can't ignore it. You have to propose the question. You have to propose the argument. Somebody has to be willing to take the conflict to do the greater good. So somebody has to be portrayed as evil in order to achieve something greater than themselves. And that's what I did, right, for Elder Scrolls. I took on the mantle of being the bad guy, being the devil, so everybody else could look better. Mystic doesn't know what he's talking about. Mystic's an asshole. He doesn't know. So by them redirecting all of their hate and all of their attention to prove me wrong, it raised the question within themselves and in the community. You guys didn't think I did this intentionally? You didn't think I knew what I was going to get myself into by doing what I did? Come on, man. I almost feel like you wouldn't even have to say this if it wasn't for, again, toxic ass trolls that play ESO. The community is trash. I love the game, but in the end, it's the players, who I don't miss at all. Zionode, Mars, Scott, Lily Loppers, Despotic, and you, of course. Almost all other players live to cause misery. Zionode is really good. Mars, Scott, Lily, Despotic, they're all great guys. I agree. That is a really good list, man, of like ace players. Those are really good players, man, that are morally sound. They have, like, Zai was my boy. Like, when me and Zai, like, got to meet and we were bullshitting, Zai, like, I felt like there was this gamer bond. Like, we never played together, but somehow there was a familiarity right there, right? Because we came from the same genre of the beginning phases of what it meant to be in MMO. And you quickly bond with those type of individuals. Despotic, I love Despotic's composure. Lily, I love... One thing, me and Lily has had issues on and off in the past, but Lily brings up the, what people don't want to talk about or admit to. And the confrontation pieces or the proposed questions that Lily brings is with good intention. Right? I like that. I think we're more alike than I even like to admit, but I like that. Mars, once again, he's a player who tests the capability of each everything he does. It's not just gaming. Like anything he does, he pushes himself to the limits, man. You know, he literally tries to go above and beyond to become the better person. In the end, it pays off for him, man. I think it does. I mean, I don't think a lot of people give him the recognition he deserves. I think he deserves a lot more recognition. That's for sure. That's my honest opinion. So, you know, there are a lot of players out there that, and I give it up. I mean, I do. Like, I've had conflicts. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, what about this? I had conflict with one of the biggest names in Elder Scrolls. And we rolled a dungeon together and cleared it with no death in hard mode. Right? Like, one of the biggest names in Elder Scrolls. I got to play my DK healer with him. With a no death run. Right? And that, to me, was big for him, man. He didn't have to do it. But he did it. He did it. He did it. He showed, hey, man, I'm not above it. Let's roll. And he's a great dude for that. You know, despite anything. And I give credit where credit is due. It's because you two were the only ones talking about the truth about diminishing returns and how every class can be any role and no such thing as BIS. Funny how the community now follows that, eh? Right? Well, it was weird because the individual I was talking about yesterday, he was trying to reintegrate the BIS situation, but when you have an open-ended system, the way that ZOS has implemented the structure, there's in different values. And unfortunately, for anybody who knows about the diminishing returns with an open-ended system, what you end up seeing is the evidence of, indifferent curves. And when indifferent curves apply, you can come up to the same ratio with any set number. Like basically the numbers can be sequenced in any order, but the total amount will be equivalent. So there's an indifferent value within the structure of the math, regardless of the formation of which the numbers occur. If that makes sense. But that's the way it is. It's math. It's like, easy example. 2 plus 2, 4. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 0, 4. No matter what sequence or what numbers follow, the indifferent value remains 4. Right? There's no way to debate it. There's no way to disregard the math, the equation proposed. But that started with 2 people, Zyno to Mystic Raven, full stop. Thank you, man. Me and Zy. That was my brother, man. That is my brother in a lot of ways. You know, we took it on. He did good. He's doing good. I'm happy for him every day. Like, I'm not a person who has, like, Zy took the nice way. He took the angel, right? And he does a good job with that. But I couldn't. There has to be somebody that people are going to be pitted against, and I had to take that mantle. I had to, and I knew that, and it suited me. I guess it was more suiting for me to take up such a, judgmental position in both, giving and taking. So for me personally, I don't feel objectified, and I don't feel misrepresented, and I don't feel victimized at all. I feel like, I put myself out there to be that position in which people have targeted me. And I'm fine with it. I'm more than cool with it. Like I said, hey, I've had worse in life. So, this was nothing. This was cake. This was cakewalk compared to what I've had to endure in my life. So, to take this position, I didn't feel like it was going to be a bother to me. I didn't feel like it was going to be stressful. I didn't feel like it was going to weigh on me, because it was like, who are these people? They're nothing. They're nothing to me. Like, I have no idea who these people are yet. I have to build that relationship. And some I will and some I won't. With you guys, I have. So, and that's where we get to know each other, and that's where you form these bonds, right? When you actually engage, and that's what's the beauty of the MMO community, is the relationships that can be formed. But until you actually put yourself out there and maybe accept another person's perception or perspective, you never really know that person. So what relevance is it? It has none. It has none. It has none. And people want to call me toxic, and people want to go ahead and point a finger because I decide to take one position over another. So be it. So be it. But it's not without, you have to understand, it is with the intent that right? There's no if, and, or but about it. You know what you're getting into. I know what I'm getting into. I know. When I made that video, you don't think I knew I'm going to get like maybe 50, 60 dislikes within the next 3 or 4 months? Like, people don't think I knew? I mean, seriously? But for the people who listen, they'll raise the question. Now, won't they? For the people who stop and listen, they'll think to themselves, wait a minute. Mystic said this was going on. Outcast just confirmed it. Outcast just confirmed it in this video. That's interesting. That's the people I'm reaching out to. The people who can think for themselves. The people who cannot be easily swayed by influence. Those are the individuals I'm reaching out to with a bitter position to place my piece. It's chess. I have to sacrifice a piece to make an open position available on the board. I have to compromise my position to gain influence. It's the easiest way to describe it. It's a sociological endeavor. You have to reach a few at a time. Right? My grandfather, he was very good at, philosophy. And as a young child, I remember my grandfather took out a record, like the old, needle records. And he's like, how many lines are within this circle? How many lines do you see within this circle? And I'm like any child. I think I was about 9 or 10 at the time. I'm counting out, like in and going out. Counting the sequence of, circles in its position. Right? I thought I was pretty slick at that age, even at that age. I'm like, well, it has like 14, Grandpa. He's like, no, it has 1. He's like, our visual perception, it misleads us to believe there is more than. But the needle can't skip the circles. The needle must continue to the track from the inner part of the circle all the way to the edge. So what we perceive is not always the case. He was a brilliant man in the way he, brought these type of things to my attention, right? And he played chess, and it was kind of crazy. The only grandfather I know that used to call me honky too, German and stuff. And it's like, come here, you little honky. And it was like, and my grandma would yell at him, like, stop calling our grandson a honky. He's like, he doesn't even know what it is. Stop, woman. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was crazy. It was nuts, but I was fortunate. I was very fortunate to have the type of influence. I remember when I was 15, I started reading psychology, right? And that was something that interested me, the id factor and things like that. At a young age, we were reading Erickson by the time we were 16. So at 16, me and my friend were reading Erickson. So it was kind of, you know, um, versus, maybe something like Freud, but there was definitely pretty good things in there that it opened your mind, man. It just put you in a different position, right? Just definitely did. We wanted to elevate ourselves to a higher standard. Not about anything specific, just saying knowledge. If knowledge is power, one must attain knowledge, not power. Because if you're in the pursuit to chase power, then you oversight the pursuit to acquire knowledge. So that was kind of our thing. You have to be aware that one road isn't going to necessarily lend itself to the other, you know. But which way do you want to be able to have the bigger influence, right? Power is an illusion where knowledge is an absolute. Once no one can strip you of the knowledge you obtain or the experiences you live through. And that's a treasure we don't reference very often. We don't get to reference that. We don't get to see it. Sometimes I think we feel like we take people for granted, right? Because how are we supposed to perceive them? If once again, all we care about is our own justification. We're trying to justify everything to suit our reasons. And it's unacceptable, really. I mean, but we all have our own goals. So what? It's okay to step on other people's backs to get there. It's okay to, the real world is not a pretty place, man. It's harsh. Every time you go to an interview, think of it in this way. When you go to a job interview, you're competing against somebody. You are. As much as you not like to think that you're getting a position because you're a better candidate is irrelevant compared to the actual truth of the situation. You're in competition with another individual. The person who decides who gets this position has to be persuaded that you are the candidate that should be hired. This is the way of the world. This is how it is. And I'm a little bit more harsh than others. It's just you have to be. I tell my kids, the world will never cut you any slack, so why should I? Why should I cut you any slack when the world is never going to give two shits? They're never going to give a damn. They're not going to want to hear your excuses. They're not going to want to hear anything. Now, sure, you're going to meet a lot of good people along the way, and I hope there are bonds that you build that last a lifetime, because those are far few in between, and that is something to treasure for the rest of your life. That's what makes living so beautiful, is the bonds that you form, right? Those far few in between moments. Elon Musk even said, there are very few things in this world that actually make you happy. And isn't that a shame? Shouldn't we all be trying to find what makes us happy? But we can't. We can't. Because we have to provide a means to survive. It's no longer going out and hunting deer and, building dens and forts and, things to, to survive the elements. No, 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 no. It's to survive against each other in an economic capacity. Maybe I'm just talking shit. Maybe that's what I'm doing. But I see the relevance behind the devil's advocate scenario. I see it. I see the relevance behind it. And no matter how many people want to go ahead and persecute me, if it makes you happy and you feel satisfied by pointing a finger at me, okay, cool. Sure. But there's a lot of things people can call me, but they can't call me a sexist. They can't call me a racist. They can't call me any of those things. Because I'm not. It's like, hey man, go ahead, have at it. Do your worst. Go for it. Have at it. But once again, like I said, I didn't know this individual that I did a piece on last night. I don't know him. I don't know him at all. I don't know him. And, had it been different if I knew him? Possibly. Possibly. Because had I known anything about him, that may compromise the position in which I did the rebuttal. Is that a good thing? Who's to say? I like this guy's robe too. That's pretty cool. I like some of these samurai robes. Some of the other ones are really cool looking. I've got to start looking for some of this shit. I don't know how I'm gonna pimp my dude. I like the hat though. I think the hat stays. Did this one this morning already. It's weird to get it again. Oh shit. What's that dude doing? Oh shit. Oh, we skipped the phase. Oh, hell yeah, boys. Nice. Good shit. Everybody deserved it. That was a good fucking run. Ooh, samurai. I know, right? Ah, oh, dude. I think you're gonna love it. I think it, like the black mage and the samurai, I think is gonna suit you due to the switch up between the play style. I just, you know, a ninja looks good too. Don't get me wrong, but it's something with the swords, like you said, the swinging, the sounds, the animation, the AOE's. Like, there's something so satisfying to the, even a rotation to the samurai. There is just something so addictive about it. You know, you're just like, wow. It's really amazing. It really is a flipping amazing class. Okay, we did that. I'm actually going to tank on that one. I'll do a DPS on this one, and then I'll hit the tank with the other one. Because I got a tank on 2. So, I'm going to be getting my geared up, though. Oh, man, I'm telling you. So good. I still got to put the material also on this dude. So, once he's get his material up and everything, oof. So badass. Dude, I don't know if you've seen. Oh my god. Let's talk about the swords on the shop. I already love it. I know. The samurai limit break though. Yeah. Oh. Dude, it gets so good too. Like when you go from the 1 and just going up, you're like, oh, that's badass. Then the 2, it's like, oh. And then when you see the 3, you're like, oh, wow. 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 Wow, that is seriously dope as hell. And here's the thing. In the end, I hope that certain companies get better, they get the support they need, and they succeed. But right now, I'm in a very good place. I have no toxic community. I'm losing subs. I'm losing them. And at the end, I'm actually happy I am. That makes sense. I'm actually happy that some people are bailing. Like, I'm glad that you and Scott, Kel, you, Scott, and the people who matter are here to experience this. And because we're having fun. Like, I feel like so much pressure has been removed. Right? Like, I can be me again. You know, I'm not the best person in the world, but I can have fun again. I'm allowed to. I like that. I really like that. So I'm having a good time, man. I'm having a very good time. So check this out, man. Wait till you see some of these katanas. Look at this friggin' katana. Oh my God! But it gets better. Oh, look at it. It's leaves. They're leaves. They're fucking. No, they're butterflies. They're not even leaves. No, those are leaves. Yeah, they're leaves. Look at that. Floating, flipping leaves. But wait. Oh my God. Well, looky, it's so shiny. That one's my least favorite. It's like a, oh, that's pretty. The Vorpal's kind of cool. Reminds me of a DK, though. So, I'm like, it looks cool, but I'd have that more on a DK. Now, this is cool, too. I love how it, like, comes down the blade. Look at it. Where the bottom half is of the blade. Oh, my God. And I love the sheath of this one. But I don't know which one I really want, man. And these motherfuckers, man, look at this. 1 million for this skin. Even if you don't get anything, it's for 1.7 mil for the skin. This one's not too bad. This one is 161 for this one. But I don't like the sheath so much. But the animation is really cool. But 600,000 for the Deadly Hive one. And the round is 600. Those are for skins, even if you're just going for skins. I get caught up watching the animations. He like swings his sword behind his back and stuff, and the combat kind of flows, and that's weird but awesome in a game with a GCD, right? Well, you spent so much time and energy fending off so many trolls. It has to be freeing. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. I'll admit I wanted to start a samurai for the swords, but the gameplay is simply amazing. I know. I have a samurai set in right beside me, so I have all three of my swords right beside me. I have my katana and all the other swords on my rack. So I really even though I never studied anything other than Japanese, I really admired the culture, and I wanted just to have the swords because of their symbolic element. And like once again, when you pull out the sword, the waxing inside the sheath, it's just pretty cool. So how I just really enjoyed it. Like mine aren't like the handcrafted ones and stuff like that. Mine are, they're swords. They're real swords, but like my hilt isn't anything specific. My wrapping isn't thing. The blade's okay. The sheath design's cool, but there's no real intricate elements to my swords. But some of the swords you see, my friend has like the red painted ones and stuff. It was a wow. I was like, oh, like the wooden ones, like the bam, like oh my God. I was like, holy shit. He was like, yo, those are expensive. I'm like, yeah, I'd imagine. I'd imagine. He got into it. He did like the whole the art with the bamboo swords and practicing and all that stuff, and he was into that. I was like, nah, I'm good, man. He's like, well, you're a martial artist. I'm like, this isn't martial arts. This is like, this is different. I appreciate it. I'm not into this. But, you have admiration for it. I'm like, I'm a martial artist. Like, Korean style Taekwondo is what I always was more into. My friends were from Korea. I grew up with Korean friends and stuff. So I got into, that martial art. Because I literally as a kid, well, teenager and stuff, I would go over their house, I'd crash a night. You weren't allowed to walk in with shoes, let alone whatever. You ate with them, the customs. I mean, sometimes we just had pizza. It was all good. It was just, hey, we're gonna order some pizza. Shit, hell yeah, here's some money. I'll go in on that. But when his mom wanted to do up something really nice, we had dinner, and we had a very homey type, home environment type dinner with, due to the custom, and the presentation, and it was really good. I would eat my seaweed rolls and things like that, and I have my soups and my salads, and very spicy. Korean food has a spicier element to it than like something like Chinese. Chinese has some spicy food, and typically American Chinese isn't the same association, but Korean food it has a little bit of a bite to it. So like kimchi. I always had kimchi too. I love kimchi, actually. I used to put kimchi on so much shit. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, man? I mean, like stir fry with some kimchi. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm just like cooking it up. And then I, adding the kimchi afterwards. Boom, boom, boom. So, actually, I'm not going to do that right now. Should be harvesting and shit. But no, it is freeing, dude. It's freeing. I'm having good time, man. I'm having fun. And look at this, man. I mean, this game, I understand now. I didn't get it. I didn't. Hey, like Final Fantasy, I don't see why everybody's playing that game. It's like, it looks good, but is it really good? I mean, it's questline. I mean, how good can a questline game be? And because that there's some parts that are just so drawn out, but all of a sudden you get into it and you see what's pulling the people and why, how many servers, and everything that's going on. You understand it. You're getting it. Right? There's this thing to take into consideration. I wonder if I can... Oh, looky. There's Lalafells. People are dancing with each other. So cool. I like her hair. That's kind of cool. White highlights. What? Wind up Etta. Alright. While I'm waiting. Oh my. That is kind of cool. Same one. No. Oh. No. 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 Same one. It's not bad. That would definitely have to be, a pants thing. Now, I like this one. That's one I'm kind of feeling. No. No. Trying to go with my custom look. There's a Korean restaurant here that makes a wonderful spicy cucumber kimchi. Dude, I love cucumber kimchi. I eat the cabbage and I eat the cucumber. Man, I love it. I love it. In Korean, all Korean food is spicy. All of it. So it's like, it's one of those really cool things. I like hot food and I love Thai food. You know, I also studied Muay Thai and I've never been to Thailand or anything, but I love once again the food from Thailand, and I love spicy food, like love it. And Korean food. I mean, I just was accustomed to it. Like I said, my friends are Korean, you know, so you know, like I said, I mean, growing up, we were at their house, and man, you don't ever like. I swear, you know, their mom is the sweetest woman in the world. And when she gets mad and she starts like going off in like Korean, I'm like, what, dude, are we in trouble? He's like, no, dude. I was like, God, okay. Like I'm like, I don't want to tick off your mom because it sounds like things are gonna get crazy. I remember his dad picking us up one time, and he was pretty pissed with us. I had nothing to do with it, so at least I didn't get in trouble. He actually apologized to me, but I was like, "Nah, it's cool, man." I just didn't want to get in trouble because, like, you were kids, man. You know. But yeah, cucumber kimchi's the best. Man, you're gonna make me hungry. They live right down the street from me. I'm about to go ask. I'm about to go ask. They're like, you know, there's no restaurants around here that actually have this. So can we get like, you know, can I order some, you know, not order, but can I get some kimchi? I don't even think it's seasoned yet. Like, I know she does those things. Like, I want to say, like, towards midsummer or something. She'd probably look at me like I'm crazy. The cabbage kimchi can't be regular cucumbers, though. They go up to Cleveland and they order in the cabbage. It's not like our cabbage. So there's a special cabbage. I forget what kind. That's used for that kimchi. I think you can get that at a grocery store, if I'm not mistaken. But cucumber, yeah, no. You can't find that shit in a grocery store. That has to be made. So, yeah, that's good shit. Come on. Like, look at that. You see how it spins the swords? It's just like... Come on. suck, Fred. They have to be acquainted. Rude. It's all good. Let's go. What class are you? Stop. It's all good, man. Why in the fuck? Come on. I knew it. As soon as I got knocked back, thank you. Demon or something, I did. I did. Thank you. Whoa. I wouldn't have known what would have happened had I not got rezzed when I did. Yeah, dude. Kurt, man, I'm so hungry now for it. I can just... I wonder if I'll buy some and pay her. She'll make it for me. Oh, I wonder if friggin' Jack... I wonder if Jackson's wife makes it. Oh! There's no way. Nice stack. It's gonna suck. Hell yeah. Dude, I'm loving it. This way. Dude, I'm loving this shit. So bad. I gotta find out where those swords drop. I know, right? Oh, those swords are so dope. I'm like, oh my god. I think they're craftable, actually. I'm not sure. You'd have to look it up. But they are so sick. It feels weird when I'm not tanking or healing. I'm in love, man. God, I'm in love. God dang. Just hold him. For a GCD game, fuck, you wouldn't know later on. You would have no idea. You put macros to this, you have no idea you're even playing GCD half the time. You're like, because the combat is just so flipping fast. You're like, you're like, what the hell, man? Jackie Chan's kicking my ass and every Japanese shit. I'm like, what? Even running mines yesterday with 3 or 4 abilities, Samurai, was so much fun. Yeah, Scott says ninja this and ninja that. Look at my cool flips, bro. But Samurai just plays so smooth. I love ninjas, though. Ninjas are like, wow. When I see a ninja, I'm like, that is definitely a ninja. Oh, snap. There's no way I'm blocking that 360. Oh, shit. See, there's these right here. Just don't lap. Dude, seriously. I'm dead. No, I made it. Try that again. Good shit. Good shit. Tank gets it. Good pulls. Good shit. No. Not my style. That is not my style. You talking crap about my ninja? Don't be be careful, man. That ninja. Don't fuck with ninjas, man. They got stealth. They come up and sneak up on you, assassinate your ass. At least samurais will face you heads up. No, there is no honor in sneaking. Face me like a man. Face me. Let the one with the most skill win and survive. Oh, I'm telling you, I love him. I love him. I love him. Though I would never do Harakari. Could you imagine if there was an ability, like at the last minute you sacrifice, you kill yourself to like do some crazy ability, do a Harakari? I'm like, oh, snap. Like, you know, put yourself out there for the benefit of the party. You know, ultimate Harakari. No! Like, what? This game wants me to do what? Man, it got real quick. Crazy. Crazy. So, that would be nuts. Alright. So, Yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream, and then I'll do up the other ones. But, yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I have fun with you guys every day of the week. And I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. And, you know, people might hate me for it. You know, for going out and doing what I do and saying what I say. But it's intentional. There is not one thing I don't do without benefiting down the road. I know, like I always tell my kids, you may not understand it now, but later you will. Right? And I feel like you guys get it, but there's a lot of people out there who don't. And it's like, you'll get it. You'll get it. Sooner or later, one day along the road, years from now, you'll be like, remember that Dick Mystic Raven on his channel, and he used to talk about this and that? Boy, I hated that bastard. He was so arrogant. He was so pompous. And they'll say to themselves, I wonder. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Irish. I appreciate it. If you guys don't know who my boy Irish is, I'm telling you, better go check out some of those vids. Some of them are getting so good that there's a couple of really good ones out there. I'm really liking the clips that you're putting up, Irish. Are really good. So once again, I'm Mr. Raven. This is Mystics MMOs. As always, thank you guys. And have a nice day.